All right, we're rolling. So welcome. My name is Danny Moss, and I'm a staff officer on the professional development team here at Alberta Teachers Association. I'm joined by Rick Gibson from Alberta Regional
Gilson.
PD Consortium.
It's
And I'm really pleased that we're working together to provide, we're all in this together, right? Isn't that the saying that we're all using right now? And we're here tonight to learn about Google Slides and using that as far more than a presentation tool, and I'm hoping you'll come away with some really great ideas, as well as a few extra skills and a whole bunch of free resources to fill your loot bag with to make this, in this learning environment that we're in right now, getting students creating or getting you creating or finding some really awesome, great multimedia tools and sort of artifacts that you can share with your students or have them share with you. So we're going to uncover all of that today, a whole bunch of examples and great resources to share. So thank you very much for joining. Okay. So where are we going with this? What could these types of things? Here's an example of a way Google Slides is being used as a math activity. We see some virtual manipulatives here on this page where we see some different shapes being sorted into quadrilaterals, trapezoids, squares, parallelograms, rectangles, etc. So there's that. Here's a newspaper template, okay, that someone has created in Google Slides where students could have a copy of that and make their own news article, perhaps related to a study, something they're learning in social studies, perhaps a novel, a story they've read. There are virtual math manipulatives, loads of different templates. I'll show you exactly how we did this one. With a lot of different templates. There's even magazine templates. You don't have to be limited by the orientation of a slide being in that landscape view. You can change the every aspect of these slides in terms of the shape of that slide. And this is a letter kind of portrait view. So lots of different things here. Lots of possibilities, and all of these samples, I'll show you where I got them later. I did not make them. They're for free. You can make a copy and send them out to your students at any point in time here. So I'll share those with you really quickly. Okay. So why don't we get started with creating a brand new Google Slides. Now there's a couple of ways you can go with this, and I don't know how you're doing this evening. If you want to just watch, if you want to just sit back and relax and kind of watch, take it all in, that's great. If you want to kind of try as we go, that's totally fine as well. And you can, so some people are splitting their screen to have Zoom on one side and their Chrome browser or their web browser on the other side. If you're on a Windows computer, if you use the Windows shortcut, if you look on your keyboard, you'll see a little Windows key in the bottom left, and then the left or right arrow. So watch what happens when I push Windows key left arrow. It kind of moves that screen over to the left side of my screen, and I can move this PowerPoint over to the right side. Okay, so that's one very quick, easy way to split your screen. If you want to do that, you certainly don't have to. You can just watch, as I mentioned. So to visit Google Slides and start a new Google Slides, if you would like to try some of this out now or later, there's a couple really easy ways you can do that. One of the easiest ways, if you want to just start creating really quickly or get kids start creating really, really quickly, there's a shortcut to type in to get a brand new Google Slides. And presuming you're signed into your Division Google account, you can just type in slides.new. Slides.new. And there you have it. A brand new Google Slides opens up. Now, that's fine. The only problem is that this slide presentation, if you like to have your files organized and where you store them, your Google Drive, for example, then it's not yet organized, okay? So there's a different way we can go about this. And I'll just, so Shelley, you can just type in slides.new, or if you want, you can go to your Google Drive. And the way Google names all of their applications is very, very similar. It's the name of the tool, .google.com. So I could have gone to slides.google.com. That's one way I could do it. And what that is going to show you is all the different Google Slides that you have looked at recently. It also gives you a little plus button where you could create a brand new one. But what I'm going to also show you is if you go to Google Drive, which is your drive.google.com, now you can pick an exact folder you want to start in, okay? So let's say I choose the folder Literacy, and I'd like to create a slide presentation in here. So what I can do is hit the New button, and you'll see some options there, including Google Slides. So then when I create this, it'll be right in this folder. And that's a way of starting off with it organized. There's certainly more things you can create, a whole bunch of things, right even to Google Forms, even whole Google websites, starting right from that Google Drive folder and more. Now, I had already started with this particular file. I went to that slides.new, if you recall. So is there a way after I've already started to create it that I can easily get it organized into the folder I want? Yes. So how we do that is, first I'm going to give it a title. So I'm just going to call this Sample Slides. Okay. Now what you'll notice is once I've started typing some content on here, if I look in the upper left-hand corner, I'm seeing two things. Number one, it's called Untitled Presentation. And what happens when you type a title in your title slide, and then you go up to the where it is to name the file, it'll just pull in, it'll just slurp in whatever I have typed on my title, and it'll bring it in. It'll bring it right in to the title of my Google Slides. I can change that, I can add to it, or I can just leave it as it is. Now the other thing I see here up in the upper left corner is this. Take a look at this. Do you see this? Right to the right of my Google Slides is a star, and just to the right of that is a button that says Move. So if I want to move this Google Slides into a particular folder or subfolder, this is what I click. So look up for that title there. If you're trying this at home, you've got a title in there now. You maybe have something right here. Look for that folder, and then you can just select exactly which one. If I wanted it in that literacy folder, there it is. Click it, I could choose Move. Now, if there was a folder inside a folder, I could just go hit this arrow and we could just keep going in and in different levels of folders till I find exactly where I want it. Now it's living in that literacy folder, okay? So that is just a way to kind of get started and orient it. And it even is said, it has moved from just straight up Google Drive into the literacy folder. Okay, wonderful. Now, we're going to look in a moment at a whole bunch of things you can add into your Google Slides that add layers and layers of multimedia. I will absolutely, I promise you, show you where all those free templates are, but we're going to kind of look at how we can kind of get there ourselves and start to build some of these things so you have a skill in that area. But one thing you'll notice when you create a new Google Slides is on the right-hand side of the screen, they come with a few different kind of themes, colors, fonts, etc. Now, some of these are all right, but there are some limited choices here, okay? So the first resource I'd like to share with you are two different websites that house dozens and dozens and dozens of free, beautiful Google Slides templates. And the first one is slidesgo.com. I'm just going to paste this into the group chat here. If you'd like to check this out, you're welcome to. So what I can do with any one of these slide templates, they have different categories on here, but let's say I see one that I really like. Let's say I want to go with this tech newsletter, okay? And I even have it in different colors. Look at that. So let's say I want to check this out. I click on it. It'll open it up. Let's even pick the blue one that I wanted. And now I have two very easy options. I can use as a Google Slides theme, or I can download it as PowerPoint. So I am going to choose Use as Google Slides theme and watch what happens. When I click that button, it's going to give me a link that will force me to make my own copy. Now this is an awesome thing that Google Drive offers, is to make your own copy of these things. And that is fantastic because anywhere you see in another Google Slides or Google Doc, any Google type file, anywhere you see. So when we see these templates later on some of the other websites for the magazine templates and the newspaper and various math manipulatives, anytime you come across something that you want to keep, you can just go File, make a copy, and you can make your own copy of this. So this is great. So feel free, if you'd like to take a look through here, you can see different templates that are in here. There are loads of different free ones that can really make things beautiful for you very, very quickly. And some of them even have other colors. So you can have one e-learning template, for example, this one here, I can have it in purple. I can have it in blue. There's various colors for some of these other ones. And so that's a very lovely site to use. How do you transfer into Google Classroom, you asked? We're absolutely going to do that. First, we're going to put a couple things in our presentation, and then I'll show you exactly how to now send this out to Google Classroom. Super, super easy. You're going to love it, Shelley. All right. Now, there's another, so here is that tech newsletter. Now look at it, it's got a whole bunch of content already on here, okay? And I've made my own copy of this. And it's got a whole bunch of stuff on here. I may not want all of this stuff, okay? But what I can do, so I'm just gonna close this for now. Do you remember that plain old white one that I started off with, that I saved over into my literacy folder? Well, guess what? When I start that brand new presentation, it opens up this themes option here. And as I told you, they were fairly limited, but look at the bottom right. Look at the bottom right-hand corner. It says import theme. You see that? So I can import a theme of another Google Slides presentation that I have. Guess which one I'm going to choose? So I'm going to click import theme, and it'll load up all the recent slide presentations that you have worked with. Hey, there's the tech news one that the tech newsletter. I'm going to bring that in, but instead of having all of those slides from the other one, I'm just going to make it the theme of the brand new one that I've done. Okay, does that make sense? So I'm just going to hit select that and select. It'll just kind of ask me one more time, are you sure this is the one you want to bring in? Yep, this one right here. I'm going to click on that tech newsletter, import theme. And then it will just change that. I only have one slide so far. It's just going to change that to that theme. Okay? And if I hit the new slide, it'll show me other different ones that I can add or change, etc. So I'm going to hit the undo button. I'm just going to keep it as white for now, okay? But just know that you can at any point in time change the theme, and there's a theme button right in the top center of your Google Slides here. You can change that theme at any time. So another good site for free Google Slides templates is Slides Carnival. This was the first one I heard about a couple years ago. It's also very good. Same idea, slightly different way of giving you slide presentations, okay? What you do in this one, you see something you like, I'll click this one, and to make your own copy of this one, they give you a little button here that says, go to preview and download. So it's a very similar process. Download is PowerPoint or slides, very similar to Slides Go. This is where it's just slightly different. When I say use this Google Slides theme, it's now going to kind of open it up as this kind of template, it's called. So all I really need to do is say use template. I can even scroll through it if I want to just double check that this is what I want. So I can say use template, and then instead of, remember the last one we clicked on, it said, hey, click here to make your own copy. Well, this is kind of essentially doing the same thing. It just looks a little bit different on that opening piece. So that's the only difference between those two websites. And again, you can keep the one that you've just downloaded and just change some of the words, add some slides, or you can close it at this point and do the same thing you did with your blank slides. Go import theme and then just bring in that theme from the other one. Up to you. All right, I'm gonna leave it like this, and I'm just gonna hit add a new slide. And if you see a little down arrow next to the plus, I can choose a whole bunch of different slide layouts to add, but I'm just gonna hit plus. We're just gonna add some more stuff here. Let's get some content now for some great interactive multimedia learning going on here. All right, so the first one I want to share with you is a very easy way to add an image, okay? You can add an image. They have an image search feature built right in. You can only create one slide at a time. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it's kind of like Smart Notebook or having multiple pages in a Google Doc or PowerPoint slides. You can just kind of work on one at a time. You can create a whole bunch of slides. You can copy and paste and duplicate a whole bunch of slides, but you're kind of just focused on one at a time. Okay. So I'm going to go to the Insert Image, search the web. Watch what happens. It opens up an image search on the right side of the screen. So you don't have to leave to go to Google Image Search, or you don't have to go anywhere else. And this is handy for students as well who might become distracted or confused by different tabs being open and so on. What's also nice about this image search, I'm going to search, somebody name an animal in the group chat. What kind of animal should we search for? The first animal that someone types, I'm going to search for. Horse. Okay. I did sloth, actually. I did sloth yesterday. It's funny you should say that, Lily. Were you there? Were you there when I searched? Maybe you were there. I've seen you in a couple sessions. You were there. Okay, that's why. Okay, that's funny. Okay, I'll type in horse and check it out. Now, what's awesome about this, no one mentioned, oh, tigers. Yes, we've watched that Netflix a lot. By the way, if you really like that tiger, I shouldn't be saying this on the recording, but if you ever get a chance, watch Grizzly Man. It's a really cool documentary. It's not on Netflix, but it's on Amazon Prime or it's on YouTube. It's about an hour and a half. Similar idea, but it's a guy who kind of lived with bears up in the north. It's crazy, crazy interesting. All right, so this is these are these images of horses. Now, what's wonderful about this being a Google for Education tool is that when I select this picture and go insert, these are all copyright-free images, okay? So because it's a Google for Education tool, that image search, I'm not worried about breaking copyright by bringing these pictures in. They are copyright-free. Whereas if you go to the regular Google image search, you get a mixture of copyright-free and pictures that do have copyright on them that you're not supposed to use. How do you know? There are ways you can search and filter out just copyright-free ones, but it's more of a pain in the neck. This is fast and it's useful, and we're abiding by the law, which is always nice. So you can, just like any picture you would imagine, when you click on it, you can resize it with these dots around it, and every kid seems to know what these dots do. Even kindergarten kids, the curve, the little circle at the top, they know what it does, and they know that it makes it rotate. So you can, and you can drag it, move it around wherever you like. Now, here's a handy tip. If you have a piece of your picture that you want to crop out, this means that you're not making it bigger or smaller necessarily, you're just taking away certain parts of that picture. If you want to do that, a very fast, easy way to do this in Google is just double click on the picture. If I click once, I just see the regular blue dots. But if I double click on that picture, watch this. It turns, I don't know if you noticed that, but it turns into these kind of black solid lines here. So if I just want to get the horse's head, you'll see the rest of that horse is kind of grayed out. And when I click away, okay, now I've cropped out some of the pieces of that picture that I don't want to show. Watch what happens if I double click it again. It's still there. It hasn't disappeared. It's just that I have cropped it out for viewing on this page. And then I can move it to wherever I want. Okay? Right on, Angela. Thanks. I'm glad you like it. So let's continue on here. We've got some images. It's very easy to add. I'll make a new slide. Let's say we want to add some shapes. There's a whole bunch of shapes on here. Okay. I can do that by just sort of in the top center here. I can see a shapes icon. It's also found in the insert menu. Insert shape. And there's a whole bunch of kinds of shapes. Regular, regular shapes you'd find in math. There are different arrows, speech bubbles, call outs, equation stuff. There's all sorts. There's even the sun, the moon, a stop, a happy face, you name it. And yeah, so you can add in any number of shapes, and I'm going to go with rounded rectangle. So you can bring in a shape. And if you want to, on here, you can double click on it and you can now add some words. So if I wanted to center this and just say bonjour, and then I wanted another one that was the exact same, I could make one say hello, and then I could just have sort of a little matching activity, right? So there are lots of ways to use these shapes in very creative ways. Now, there's also a very cool, I'm going to make this horse back to its original picture back here. There's another way that shapes and pictures can work together. And I didn't even show yesterday's group this. So this is brand new learning that you guys are going to have. It's super cool that nobody else learned in the last session. Remember the cropping tool? I talked about double clicking. It's right up here, this crop image. But look at the little arrow to the right of that cropping tool. I wish I could zoom in to show you that. I think if I did zoom in to 200, I don't think it zooms in the menu. So let me just unzoom that. Okay, let me just get it back out here. But what you should see is this. I've got this picture of the horse. Right next to the cropping tool, it's called mask images. What I can do is I can crop this picture into something. If I go regular pentagon, watch what happens. Now this horse goes into the shape of a pentagram. It crops it around that. If I want the horse to be in an arrow, I can do that. If I want the horse to be in a star, I could find the star. Where is the star? Why are my eyes? Somebody help me. There we go. So if I want it to be this star right here. So it's very easy to do. You can look like a rock star. So we're able to see how quickly it is we can start creating stuff that looks really nice. So that's one way to combine those shapes. Now another way, you saw some of the virtual manipulatives. What if we wanted to get some counters on here? Is there a way to freeze the shapes so that they can be moved but not resized? Not that I'm aware of. Yeah, that you have to first find a picture, Shelly, find it, click on the picture, then you'll see this little crop tool show up, and just to the right there's an arrow and it's called mask shapes. That's what you're looking for. So yeah, sorry Michelle, I don't think there is a way you can, there's kind of a trick way where you can make it such that people cannot move stuff anymore, but there's no way I'm aware of, if they do have editing access to this, that they can't resize them. But what we can do, I'm just going to get rid of this text box here. Let's say we want some number counters, okay? So we're going to make some little circles, almost like bingo chips. We're going to make a whole bunch of them so that the kids can move them around like virtual math manipulatives, okay? So I'm going to hit the shapes button, find a circle, gives me the little crosshairs. I'm going to click and drag. Now, you know how to copy and paste. But there's a very cool tool here called duplicate, okay? There's a very easy way to duplicate a shape that is faster than going copy, then paste, copy, then paste, copy, then paste. So first of all, let me get this the right color. See the paint bucket up here? I can select this, I can click on the paint bucket, fill it how I want, okay? Now the duplicate tool, this works with pictures, this works with slides itself. But what you can do to duplicate it is the Control key and D, Control D, or if you're on a Mac right now, Command D. Click on something, I've got my counter there, and I go Control D. It duplicates it. Control D, 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 and I've got a whole bunch of counters there. Does anybody remember in Smart Notebook where you have that infinite cloner? Well, there is no infinite cloner in Google. But what we can do is we can make a whole bunch of the same shape, and we can stack them on top of each other such that people can drag. They think it's infinite, but it's not actually infinite. Now, you know what a pain in the neck it would be to drag every one of those shapes to stack them on top of each other? Man, that's going to be a lot of work. So what we can do instead is we can select them all. You know how to select all these shapes on here? Just take your mouse and drag it around, okay? Take your mouse and drag it around, and it will select all of these things. Click and drag, doesn't matter where you start, okay? Where you finish, as long as you get them all. Now we're gonna go up to this toolbar right up here. It's in the top center of all your toolbars, and it's called Arrange. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna align them. First, I'm gonna align them, doesn't really matter how you do this. First, I'm gonna align them to the left. Watch what happens. Boom. Now I'm gonna go back into that same arrange. They're still all selected. And I'm gonna arrange top to top, middle, or bottom. And now they're all stacked on each other. Okay, let me just undo, undo. By the way, Control Z is one of my favorite keyboard shortcuts because it undoes stuff. Don't you wish you could undo some of our life choices? I know I do. Anyways, so we first select everything, okay? Click and drag around everything. Nope, didn't get it. Let's try that again. There they are, now I've got them. Go up to that arrange and align, okay? Arrange and align. We're gonna align them, doesn't really matter if you align them left, center, or right. But then, so do one of these top three, left, center, or right, and then do the top, middle, or bottom. Whichever one you do, they'll now be stacked on each other. And I can just take all of them and I can just move them off to the side. Maybe, and what you'll see in some of these ones that have math manipulatives is that the middle part is kind of your active kind of canvas, and then some of the extra shapes and things could just be off to the left side or the right side. You just drag them onto the screen when you need them. So if I want to tell students to model 3 plus 4, you know, then they could take 1, 2, 3, and you see as I'm dragging stuff around, you see all these little line guides where they're snapped together and align them all in the same way. You can do that too. So 3, see how it's lining it up for me as I'm dragging it around? So they put in these extra supports that really make it easier for you to make stuff look nice. So 3 and 4. And there we go. I could put the plus symbol if I wanted. So there's just one example of where you can add in some shapes. Now, let's go to a new slide now. And I'm going to say trees and forests. Let's say we want to add in some links to some good websites here. I'm going to first click here to visit the trees and forests website. And why don't I just for, why don't I for good measure, I'll add in a picture of a tree. Do you remember how? It's the insert image, search the web, and I'll, instead of horse or sloth, we're going to choose trees. And I could add a beautiful picture of a tree. Some of them might be a little bit too big for my liking, so I can resize it, but I've got it there. Now I want to make these words click here. I want to turn that into a hyperlink that's going to go to a website. Okay, there is a great website I want to share with you, and I'm not just saying this because it's owned by the ATA. It is, but it's the ATA library website. And if you haven't been here to find great websites for your classroom, you're going to want to because it's really good. Now the website is library.teachers.ab.ca, and I'm going to just copy and paste that in here. And I'll tell you, this website is not great. This database of resources is not great because we made it great. It's great because, does everybody remember tolearn.ca? They are no longer in existence, but in their final year of operation, year and a half of operation, they joined with ATA. Alberta ATA merged with them, brought them into ATA, and we have all their subject guides and their topic guides and special editions. And so you'll remember tolearn.ca. So I'm going to scroll down in here to these learning guides, and I'm going to find Science, grades K to 6. There it is. And they have great websites you can use with your students and share with them, either through Google Classroom, various other learning management tools, or you can link to them in these multimedia files, like these Google Slides or Google Docs or wherever you want. So I'm going to go to grade 6. for science and check that out. I've got all the grade 6 units there, and I'm going to go to trees and forests. Okay, so let's say I want to choose this website, Exploring the Boreal Forest. Now it's going to, oh, of course, that doesn't load up just what I wanted to. Trees inside out. Let's try that one. All right, wonderful. So let's say this is the website I want to put as a link on my slides. Just click up here in the address bar to copy the website. And I'm going to go back to my Google Slides. Now you see these words here where I said click here. I'm going to highlight those words. So I'm going to turn that into a hyperlink. Okay, highlight the words you want to turn into the link. Now look straight up, dead center of the screen. Insert link. It looks like a chain link. You see it? Give it a click. Now this little box opens down here for you to paste. Control V, apply, and now this is a link. And when I click on this link, it now turns into this, which I can click to open that website. Okay, how's the pacing here, everybody? Am I going too fast? Am I going too slow? Every group's a little bit different, so don't hesitate to let myself or Rick know how the pacing is going. But yeah, if there's anything I need to do, okay, it's good. So far, so good. Thank you. What did you do after clicking the chain link? Well, what I did after clicking the chain link, I clicked that chain link, and then it gave me a little box here to paste that link in that I had copied from the website. Make sense? So you can either type it in if you feel like it, you can right-click paste, or you can just Control V paste. Okay, and then it just turns into the hyperlink. You can change it anytime you want. Show them what the text part of the link does. What do you mean, Rick? So basically what I click on that and it opens this link just below it, and then I click on it. Is that what you mean, Rick?
No, if you go back to get the link, just to go put in a link.
Yeah.
And
up here?
Yep. So you have two parts to this. You have one part where you can paste the link. If you haven't already typed in whatever text you want, this is where you can type in the text as well. So say you were putting in a link that was a pretty long link. You don't want that link to show up. You just want it to say, Martin Luther King, I have a dream, or I have a dream speech. And it's the link to that speech. It would put that text in for you automatically at that time.
Really? So I just do a search right here?
Well, if you type in the link or put in your link there, whatever link you had, Danny, like the link you just had, and then up in text, yeah, there you go. Up in text, type great tree resource, and then hit apply.
There it is. Now I understand what you're saying. So yeah, you can do it however you want. You can just start from nothing and hit the link button. Whoops. And anywhere you want, and then choose both what the link would be as well as the text that it would link from, as Rick suggested, or you can highlight some text and then hit the link and then turn it into a link with the website. So yeah, thank you, Rick. That's a great tip. So there you go, everybody. Very easy to add in links as well. We've done shapes. We've looked at some virtual manipulatives there. If you want, before we leave the pictures, I want to show you another really handy way to use that insert image, okay? A lot of time, we may have students, even though they're working in this remote environment, we're communicating digitally, I could very easily make a copy of this for each student and have them do certain things on each slide. I could just put in the title. Share a picture of your paragraph or diagram or something they had done in paper or whatever. I could ask them to put in shapes. Now watch this, insert image. There's another cool option, insert image from camera, okay? And I'm just gonna stop my video and zoom for a second. Insert image camera, okay? And then basically it's going to load up this camera. Hello, this is the webcam on here. And what I can do now is I can take some writing I have, and I can hold it up. Maybe it's a map, maybe it's a diagram, maybe it's a story plot, maybe it's just a handwritten paragraph. I can hit the camera button. And you know what? If you can't reach with your mouse to that camera button, just push the space bar. You just hold it up and push the space bar. It acts as the camera shutter to take that picture. Pick which one you want and hit insert, and now it's in here. And remember the cropping tools, everybody? Okay, you can either use this or just double click to then get rid of those extra edges you don't want. And now it'll cut off the pieces you don't want. So this is a great way to digitize some paper. It's not a beautiful PDF scan, but what it is it lets you get something from paper onto here very, very quickly that they can then work with. Maybe it's a math problem they've written out that they want to now need to explain how they did it. So this is what I'm talking about in terms of it being that interactive, that canvas where they can be creating as well. And it's a very easy way for them to digitize something that might be on paper. All right, so yeah, that insert image from camera, it's not just for a funny selfie, right? It's to digitize something that they can use. Okay, let's move on here. There's a whole bunch more cool stuff I want to show you about, and then we also have to take a look at those great resources at the very end. Of course, I want to make sure I cover all these things. We're just getting started here, everybody. There's some very cool stuff we can add here. Another cool thing you can insert is video. And so this is wonderful. By default, you can search for YouTube video, okay? So let's say on that same topic of trees and forests, there's even a YouTube search in here. Let's see, thank you. I'm seeing Cassandra sharing some very cool feedback here. Thank you very much. Let's see here, trees and forests for kids. I have no idea what this is going to turn up here, and I would highly recommend that you watch these videos. This is a tropical forest. I'm not sure that's what we want. How to save trees and forests. Why not? Let's try that one. So we would probably watch this beforehand, but we can bring this in as a YouTube video now right onto our screen, resize it, drag it where you want, and then all students need to do when they come to this slide, they just need to hit the play button. Watch it, they can go full screen if they feel like it. Right? Now, that's just the beginning of it. Did you notice that this format options thing showed up as soon as I put the YouTube thing in? I'm just going to close it and show you how to get back to that. If you bring in a video file, you can right click on that and look for this thing that says format options. Yeah, from the YouTube search. I'll show you right again, Shelly. But what I want to say is once you do have that YouTube video in, you can even control, let's say the first 5 seconds, you want to skip ahead to past the first 10 seconds, okay? If I can start it at the 10-second mark, and I can, let's say the part I want to show them is really from the 10-second up to the 1 minute mark. I don't need the extra stuff there. So if you control that over there, now when they click play, it's going to just pop right ahead to that 10-second mark, and it's going to stop at the 1 minute mark. Okay? So that is a very easy way to control when that YouTube video starts and stops. Yeah, you can set the time. It's very easy to do that. So if you have a long video, you've got a 20-minute TED Talk, and you really just want to show 2 minutes of that 20-minute TED Talk, you can set the exact start and end time. So how did we do that again? Insert video. And then, let me just insert video. How do we get back to the regular? So we're just searching. Okay, or if you already have the YouTube video, let's say you have a book. This is a book called Where Oliver Fits. It's a wonderful book. I believe it's by, oh, what is his name? Somebody help me out here. It's on the tip of my tongue. Very popular author here. Okay, I shouldn't slow it down. He's a very popular artist as well. He's written like Dot, and there's several other books. Peter H. Reynolds, thank you. Copy that URL, copy, and you can insert, instead of doing a search, you can just insert by URL where you just paste it in here, Control V. So you can do it that way as well, and that's another way to bring it in. So you've got a couple of options for that. Now, wouldn't it be cool if you could record yourself on your webcam or record your desktop, maybe for some instructions on a lesson or an activity? Anybody who's taken part in the Screencastify sessions I've done earlier this week and last, it's a very popular tool. So let's say I want to do a little video introduction, either from my webcam or from my screen I want to record. I can bring that into the Google slide very, very, very fast. Okay, here's how. We're not going to do a whole start to finish on the Screencastify. If you want a video, I can send it to you. I have a whole session recorded. We'll do another Screencastify session as well because it is very popular. In fact, I might have another one tomorrow with Screencastify plus Google Classroom. So let's say I have this extension. It's going to open up. This time I just want to record my webcam, okay? And I just want to record a little welcome message, okay? Now I'm just gonna, it's gonna open up on my others. Oh, you know what I have to do? I have to stop my video, that's why. So I'm just gonna close that and start that again. So I'm gonna record my webcam, and just bear with me 1 second because I have two screens right now. I'm gonna drag this over here. Here's my screencast. Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to Mr. Moss's class. This is my message to you. I'm just gonna stop it right there. You'd obviously do yours a little bit longer. So what happens with Screencastify, as soon as I hit stop, it's starting to upload it into my Google Drive automatically. And it opens up, I didn't do anything, it just opened up this window all by itself. Now, you see this, it's already uploaded into my Google Drive. So all I need to do is click on that copy shareable link, and what it does is it turns it into something that other people can watch. Now I go back into my Google Slides and I can insert that video. But instead of going by YouTube, I go into my Google Drive. And guess what? There is the recorded video that I just took, okay? I can also organize it by recent video files that have been shared with me. And here's a whole bunch of recent ones that I took. So let's just say I want to insert that. Sometimes it takes a few seconds, a couple of minutes. Oh, there we go. It's all ready to go. And that video is now ready. And if I hit play, here's my screencast. Hello, boys, and welcome. So do you see that it took probably 2 or 3 seconds before I got it right? So what if I just start this one off at the 2-second mark, maybe even the 3-second mark, and then that way, when they click it, it'll avoid that first part where I wasn't looking at the camera. Here's my screencast. Hello, boys. Okay, so there it is. Yeah, so there is the Screencastify you want, Shelley. Getting started with Screencastify. I will copy that link. And there you go, madam. This is a full 1 hour session. I also have, if you want later, I'm going to keep going with this, but if you stick around, I can give you sort of a 6 or 7 minute Cole's Notes video. Mr. Moss's class. Screencastify. So those are some things you can add to your slide. I'm going to add a new slide. We can also add, check it out. As of just a couple months ago, we can now add audio files. So if you want to voice narrate something or give some audio instructions, you don't necessarily want to do it as a video. The unfortunate part to being able to insert audio are two things. Number one, it doesn't give you an audio recorder here to just hit the record button and start recording. You have to already have that video, you have to have that audio file somewhere already in your Google Drive. And that's kind of the second challenging part, is not only do they not give us a record button, but once we do get our audio file, we have to upload it into our Google Drive. If you can handle that, then inserting audio might be a cool thing for you. Now I'm going to show you 2 ways that you can record this audio right through your web browser. This is a tool called Online Voice Recorder. And why I like it, sometimes these kind of web-based tools are a little sketchy. But what I do like about this particular one is the moment I hit start, this is my audio recording and I really like it. So there it is. Once I hit save, it's not saving it to some server of theirs. It is downloading it as an MP3 file right there, okay? Now remember, what I have to do is I have to now go to my Google Drive and I have to upload it, okay? Everybody remember what you type in to get to your Google Drive? drive.google.com. Try to force yourself to remember. That's a really good way to learn it. It's just by kind of challenging yourself to remember it. All right, I have a folder here called audio, so I'm going to just put it in there, but you could create a new folder if you prefer. So here's that file down here that I downloaded. Remember that from that online voice recorder? Watch this, I'm just going to drag it. So if you have it downloaded at the bottom of your screen with the Chrome, you can just drag it. All right, so now I've got the new file in there, and I'm going to go back into my sample slides, and I'm going to go Insert, Audio, and where is that most recent file? Here it is. And I hit Select, and watch. It brings it in as a little kind of a little tiny audio button that when I hover over it, it turns into this play button.
This is my audio recording and I really like it.
It sounds pretty lousy, but if I had a nice headset on, it might sound a bit better. So anyways, that's one way to record audio. The second way, remember good old Screencastify? If I just want to get the sound out of that, I did the webcam recording, but let's say I just want the sound. Look at this over here. After I hit record with Screencastify, instead of keeping it as a video, I can hit the download button and I have the option of just exporting the audio. So I hit that button. It'll give me a little link here in a few seconds, and I hit download MP3. You'll see it again show up down here. There it is. And I have my audio file that way. So it really depends which tool, which type of tool. If you have a different MP3 audio recorder on your computer, that's fine too. I'm going to hit Untitled and just drag it in there. April 1st. All right, so now back into my slides. I'm going to insert audio and find it again. And there it is. And I insert it. Where is it? There it is.
Here's my Screencastify. Hello, boys and girls, and welcome.
That was what I did off of Screencastify. So I don't know what you think about inserting audio. It is a bit of a pain in the neck, isn't it, to get it in there? But it is certainly an option you have, and it might be worth it. If you're a language teacher, or you teach young students, or you just want to have that option of your voice being recorded. Maybe you're not super keen on doing the, Screencastify, getting your face in there. Different people feel differently about that, or you might be distracting. Having that audio might be an option for you, okay? Now, before we go, I promised you I would show you those templates. How do you save the audio file? Well, depending, if you're in that online voice recorder, there's a save button right there. It just will hit the download button. And if you're in Screencastify, look for the download button and then just choose export audio only. Then that's how you save that. Okay. A couple more things I want to show you before we go, some real gold. And those are as follows. So there are some things in that can add extra functionality to our Google Slides, and those things are called add-ons. So I'm going to go down here to the add-ons menu, and I'm going to choose Get Add-ons. Okay, it's like a little app store or a little Chrome web store, but it's just for Google Slides. Now look at some of the cool things that we can add in here. Okay, I want to show you a couple, two I'll show you today. One is called Easy Accents. Is anybody in here by chance a language teacher? So I could hit install, if we have any language teachers here, what language do you teach, Angela? So I'm going to go to Add-Ons, and I'm going to choose Easy Accents, and I'm going to choose Start. Watch what happens. On the right-hand side, because Michelle, Joyce, and oh wow, lots of French teachers in here, wonderful. I'm going to choose, select a language, French. And now what you'll see pop up, instead of having all those keyboard shortcuts and a whole bunch of stuff, we can have all those buttons over there. So now I'm going to say, comment ça va? So, comment. Now I need the C with the kind of a, this thing on it. See how I did that? Where I needed that little French symbol right there, I just went over and clicked that button. Works for Spanish, works for lots of different languages. So check out the different languages it can work with. It's where it's a different style of keyboard than the regular. So there's Spanish as well. Oh man, there's Italian, there's a whole bunch of them. So it brings in those special characters. Here's another add-on that might be useful. This one is called Icons by the Noun project. Okay, now the Noun project has icons on a website that you can download, but they offer some of them for free here to Google users. So I can take this truck, for example, this icon, and I can choose what color I want it to be, and then hit insert, and watch what happens. Pretty cool. So maybe I want an icon of a tree, something simple, you know, a nice icon. So these are free. You can use them right in your Google Slides, no problem. The final one I want to show you, has anyone ever heard of Unsplash Images? It's a great website where you have some beautiful copyright-free imagery. Well, they've got an Unsplash Images right built in as an add-on. So I can have it here and I can search for some beautiful, let's say, forest. And some awesome, gorgeous pictures. I click on that picture and watch what happens. It's an incredible picture, right? And so I can have some of that gorgeous imagery built right in here as functionality. So some great, great features. There's also a wonderful, did anybody remember seeing the money activity I did at the beginning? There's another awesome Chrome extension called Equatio. Did anybody happen to check in? There was an Equatio session that that Text Help company did for us earlier today, and that is a math add-on called Equatio. So just watch here. I've got my Google Slides. I open my Equatio, and I did an Equatio session last week. I didn't record it, so I'm at a very intro level. Louis, the guy from Text Help who did it today, Don was there. He's awesome. These guys are professionals. So, but just watch what you can do here. I'm in my Google Slides. I click Insert a Math Space. It's opening up this website here. Now I've got what's loading up this digital math canvas, okay? Look at all the kind of stuff I can bring in here, okay? I'm gonna bring in, there's regular shapes. I'm gonna go down to the Canadian coins, bringing in a whole bunch of coins. What if I want to bring in a fraction bar? How much of that fraction do I want? Well, I want to make 8 pieces and shade in, I want 3/8, okay? I want to bring in a 10 grams, okay? I want to bring in 10 grams. Look, they're all one thing, but now I can separate them. Whenever I'm ready, I hit the insert button, and I'm not doing anything. It's doing it all by itself. It brings all that stuff back into my Google Slides. Yes, I will do another Equatio session for beginners, Stacy, so stay tuned for that. I can do that next week. So we can just start from the basics here on what grade do you teach, out of curiosity? Like what division level? You don't have to tell me the exact grade if you don't want to. Grade 5. Okay, wonderful. I'm an elementary background, so this is where my head is at. So we'll give lots of elementary examples. Make sure to give them grade 5. So stay tuned for that. All right, so anyways, we have 3 minutes left. Before we go, I want to show you some of those. I promised you I would show you those great websites that have all of those templates. Now, major kudos to Darren Maltese and the team at Black Gold School Division They are awesome. I've pasted this link into your, you can find at any grade level. So I can go into grade 5, Stacy, and they have a whole bunch of these templates for grade 5, okay? And let's just say for fun, let's go into, once this opens up, I'll open up social studies. I am honestly not sure what they have here for grade 5 social studies. So you can click on the links that I'm pasting in the chat and it'll open up in your web browser. So that's certainly an option you have. So let's say I wanted, what do I want? Let's say I want this McLean's. All right, we're running out of time, so let me just choose this one. Anything you open up in here, you see some templates you like, they're fantastic. You open it up in your web browser. Here it is, Statute of Westminster. Anything you want to make a copy of, all you do once it opens up here, this must be just taking time. I know it was prettier than this. There was a huge, beautiful background and stuff in here. Anyways, all you would do is you would go File, make a copy of the entire presentation, and then it's going to make you your own copy. Okay, so I'm going to just click in here instead of a particular grade. I'll just go to the general shared Google resources. And Shelly, I'll show you how to now take this and put this in your Google Classroom. Make a copy for each kid. Very, very easy. So these are the general Google templates in here. And when this opens up, come on, internet, don't fail me now. Look at this. There's all sorts of cool templates in here. This is a book cover. So let's open this up. I see this. It looks awesome. I'm now going to say File, make a copy. I want my own copy of it. Now it's in my Google Drive. Wonderful. So I'm going to now, before we leave, just show you how to, in Google Classroom, share some of these templates with your students. But before I do that, I'm just going to share with you another website from my previous school jurisdiction that I work with. Trish Rofi and the team at Edmonton Catholic has made some other wonderful, look at this, Google Docs, Google Slides templates. There's all sorts. Hey, you want to play Battleship in Google Slides? Go for it. So you can, any one of these cookbook templates, there's all sorts of stuff. You open it, File, make a copy. Now in Google Classroom, this is how easy it is to share with people. Everybody remember the Google Classroom website? classroom.google.com. So I'm in my Google Classroom. Shelley, you have a Google Classroom? I'm going to go into this Mr. Moss sample. Now, do you guys know where you remember this classwork section in Google Classroom? This is where we send stuff to kids. And what I'm going to do is create an assignment. Now, where is this? Book cover. And I'm going to hit Add. You know where it is? It's in my Google Drive. And guess what? As soon as I hit in Google Classroom, insert that thing from Google Drive, it'll open up the most recent thing that I did. And I hit Add. Now, do I want students to view this? No, I want to make a copy for each student. Easy peasy. So I go to this Black Gold website, or I go to the MTech site. I open up one of these and make my own copy. Then in Google Classroom, it's very easy. Okay, you just do that assignment, create assignment, add it from Google Drive, and then whatever that file is you want to share with students, if you want them to have their own copy, you just choose make a copy for each student. It even puts the kid's name on it. It gives it the name of that file, plus it adds the student's name to it for every student, such that when they turn it in, you know whose is whose. Really, really handy. Anyways, I've gone over a couple minutes. So we've looked at lots of aspects of Google Slides. We've learned how to add a whole bunch of stuff to Google Slides. We've seen some of the add-ons, which add different functionality to it. And we've looked at a whole bunch of free templates that you can have to use tomorrow. Don't forget about that ATA library site, library.teachers.ab.ca. It can be really useful. Can I send a slide deck and it comes up as a presentation? That is a good question. You could just send it as a view only. So when you put it in for Google Classroom, you could just create it instead of an assignment where you want something back, create it as a material. Okay, doesn't really matter. You can have it as part of an assignment as well. But this time when you add it from Google Drive, let's say you have your slide presentation. Here are my sample slides, but I only want students to view it, okay? It will only give them that view only, and then they won't be able to move it around. It'll just show as the nice slide, okay? Anyways, thank you so much for participating. Thank you, Rick Gibson from ARPDC for joining us today. Thank you all for joining us. I'll stick around for a little bit longer. If you would like to ask more questions, I'll stop the recording at this